Little more than 24 hours after Tyson Fury confirmed his undisputed heavyweight title fight against Anthony Joshua would be on, it could already be in doubt. The reason is Deontay Wilder, because reports claim a court in the United States has ruled Fury must face Wilder for a third time by September following a civil arbitration case. We can now speak to Adam Smith. Adam, good afternoon to you. Where does these latest developments leave the Joshua-Fury fight?
Tom, that's the million or multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? It's been quite a 36 hours. Remember Tyson Fury going on his social platforms, announcing the fight, saying, see everybody in Saudi. And then, of course, last night, the boxing world kicks off again. The arbitration, the ruling that, we knew was a possibility all along, that Deontay Wilder will get, apparently, this trilogy match, the rematch from his defeat. And so, look, there's a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes, obviously. I sought messages with Eddie Hearn. As you can imagine, Eddie is waiting. It's really a Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder issue. It's that situation. I mean, Bob Arum was very bullish, of course, that it wouldn't be a problem and that Joshua Fury could go ahead in the summer. But now we have an issue. The judge has ruled that obviously Wilder will get the fight with Fury. It has to happen before September the 15th. I believe there's a date even penciled in for July 24th. Well, remember, we're meant to be in Saudi on August the 14th for the big fight. That's what everybody wants to happen. Of course, Team Wilder may have other ideas, but will they take some sort of step-aside money? We have to wait and see. That's all being negotiated behind closed doors at the moment. And Eddie's been pretty outspoken and saying, look, it's their issue, and we hope that we can get this fight, this massive fight, this huge unification over the line. But if not, we have to look after our client, Anthony Joshua, and there will be a plan B. And that plan B, I guess, will be Alexander Usyk, of course, is the mandatory WBO. We know his team have been straight on to Eddie Hearn this morning. So, 24 hours in boxing, well, anything can happen, can't it? So, fingers and toes crossed that it will get resolved and that we do still get the biggest fight of a generation happening in the summer. But as always with these big fights and making them, there's a lot of politics, there's governing bodies, there's belts, there's situations. We knew about this one with Deontay Wilder. The judge has spoken, so they have to work it out behind closed doors. And if they can't, Wilder will get that shot at Fury, and AJ will have to go in a slightly different direction. So it's a case of wait and see.
From Wilder's point of view, Adam, is this all about revenge and he wants to fight Fury for a third time, or is it all about money? And if it is about money, maybe he would be willing to take that step-aside money, as you said.
It's probably about both, Tom, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, Deontay Wilder was a world heavyweight champion for a long time. His pride was hugely dented by what happened in Vegas. It was one of the great performances by a British fighter abroad in what Tyson Fury did. It was incredible being ringside that night. And, Deontay came out with all sorts of excuses afterwards. We had, the sacking of Mark Breland, the suit, everything else. I think he really struggled to come to terms with it. We've known Deontay a long time, of course, and, he's a proud warrior. So I'd imagine, yes, he would indeed want to try and exact revenge on Tyson Fury and try and become the world heavyweight champion all over again. So I'm sure that is a huge priority. But money talks, and, could enough money be found? There's a lot of money on the table for the Joshua Fury fight. So could some of that be used? As I said, step-aside money. It's happened before. And Deontay maybe fights an interim fight against someone like an Andy Ruiz, I guess, who's on the comeback trail. And he waits his turn, and there's a two-fight deal with Fury-Joshua, August and maybe in December in Wales. And then next spring, Deontay gets his opportunity again. So that's what will be offered to him at the moment. But at the moment, as well, he's got the possibility of a trilogy fight, which has been decreed by the judge, as we understand, Daniel Weinstein. So, look, it's up to him and his team, and him and Shelley Finkel and Jay Diaz and all the Wilder setup that we know. We'll be discussing that with the lawyers and with Bob Arum and Team Fury and Eddie Hearn and Freddie Cunningham and Anthony Joshua. Just have to wait, and they have to wait for an update. It has to be resolved very, very soon. Both Joshua and Fury have been in training for a long time. Fury, we know, is in America. Will he stay in America, or will he go to Saudi and fight in August? And for Joshua, he needs to carry on as well with his career, and Alexander Usyk is waiting in the wings. So any number of scenarios could work themselves out in the next, 48 hours. I'm
going to very quickly give one final scenario there to you, Adam. What if Tyson Fury is willing to give up his belt, so Wilder got the belt, Fury goes and fights Anthony Joshua, and then, hopefully in his mind, gets the belts from Joshua, then fights Wilder and wins that one and becomes undisputed anyway?
Tom, you're going to be a promoter? I mean, that's another scenario. Of course it is. Could Tyson, give up that WBC belt? Would it be fought between Wilder and Dillian Whyte then, who of course beat Povetkin? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? And then you'd have the 3 titles, you'd have the AJ titles out in the desert. I mean, obviously we want to see the undisputed. We want to see all the treasure, in the pot. That's what we've been waiting for. The 2, champions to go and find out the unified king of heavyweight boxing. But as we know, these things take time. We had it with Lewis and Holyfield. They unified for 3 titles. This would be 4. And you worry also if one of them gets beaten in the meantime. So you want to sort of get the big fight on. So that is another scenario. Maybe that does happen. What does Jose Sulaiman say? Mauricio Sulaiman, sorry, Jose's son on the WBC situation. Would that happen? Could he give up the belt? Maybe. Mauricio will answer that. But I think at the moment it's all about Deontay Wilder and what he will accept in this situation, and then we'll find out the answers and we can all move forward. But we're going to get some big fights coming up. I just can't tell you exactly what we will get in the next 12 weeks.
Yeah, Adam, I appreciate there's far more questions than answers at this stage. Really appreciate your time.